Alrighty, good morning guys. Well, we're back out here at the new pond build. I've tracked the excavator down here, and I'm gonna set off in here and I'm gonna start digging this stuff out, see what we've got. Again, this right here is where they buried that brush pile, or somebody did, meaning, several years ago. So anyway, I want to get that dug out and see what we find. Hopefully we'll hit some good clay. It's kind of looking like it. I'm getting some clay there. Anyway, hopefully hit that pretty quick. But again, I want to get all this dug out. It was even soft over in here, so there's no telling how big a hole we got. Hopefully it's just in this area right here, but I guess we'll see. I just want to give shout out to y'all, appreciate it. Subscriber counts going up. I kind of lost a couple, 3, and then it just shot up again. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. The weather just dictates when I can work and when I can't, So anyway, yeah, talking bad weather, a lot of rain and a lot of freezing stuff this weekend, Saturday, and today's Thursday. So I'll have a full day today, and unfortunately just a half a day tomorrow, and then we'll be done for a while. So I want to kind of get this, I would really love to get the rest of this topsoil yanked out over here, and kind of get my dam set where I'm going to be at on it, and kind of get a bit of a core dug out on it, and start get my sides pushed up. And more than likely I'm gonna have to cut a bench on that. We've got some clay down lower, which is good, so I'll probably have to notch that bank back, which is kind of what I figured I'd have to do in the beginning. And hopefully we'll have enough material to take and line that. That ground's tight. I don't think it would be an issue otherwise, but it's just a safety. So I want to take and shove all this and line that, fill that bench in, and then bring it around this way. And I've got to go back further still yet where the excavator's setting. So my spillway is not gonna be able to put it here, so I'm gonna start piling over here and get some dirt piled over here. Hopefully all this will come out. I really don't want to put any more over there because I'm going to have to make a turn there to kind of coincide with this side here. So again, I don't want to put any more there, so all this more than likely is going to come down and tie into here. Again, I've got to make a U-shaped dam. It's going to be shallow over here and there. It'll be deeper here or taller here, but anyway, that's the plan. Everything's going to go over here. I'll have to fire the D6 up, move it out of the way. And of course, I'll have to use it to help push on this out, but I'm going to use the excavator quite a little bit to help loosen this up. And I've got some more room down here. I can pile this too. So anyway, let's get to moving some dirt and quit flapping my jaws and running, burning daylight up. So anyway, here we go. Alrighty. Well, let's see what somebody left for me. Hopefully not anything too big. Look at jobs like this and these snafus like this, and I look at where I came from versus what I have now. Yeah, that D6 is an older dozer, but it's a good dozer. And I mean, this thing, it's a 2017. know, it had what, 2,800 hours or something on it when I bought it. Yeah, this is a house, is what this cost. But I look at that, and I look at the fact that I have this tool to utilize in this environment, with it being muddy down in here and almost sticking the D6. You know, I've got the track loader as well, and I mean, if I didn't have this, I could bring the track loader out here and, you know, more likely than none, go ahead and get it out of here. But this just makes it so much easier, and it's just a more, you know, it's another tool that I have that makes me more versatile. So again, I'm just really absolutely grateful, and have been very blessed for what I have. Right there's where the hole's going to be. Again, one of the other videos for this job, I mentioned the fact that as I was, oh yeah, there we go. As I was, there's a tree. As I was digging through this topsoil is really uniform. 3 foot of topsoil, then it turns into kind of a pre-clay, I call it, which is a tannish color, light clay. And I noticed when I was going through the topsoil, there's some red clay streaks through the middle. And that's, you know, that's no different than using a backhoe or using a track hoe and digging and see a coloration change in the dirt. You know that that dirt's been disturbed. So anyway, I seen that and I was like, oh no. I don't think it's going to, well, I like that color change, it's looking good. It's not really going to affect us in the fact that we got to be down, we'll have to be deeper than what they dug anyway. But, whole dang tree there. But that hasn't been there that long. See, the wood's still fresh. Relatively fresh. So I know the previous owner of this, and they had, well, I'm going to set some of this stuff here, stack it over there. But they have their own equipment, so next time I see him, I'm going to razz him. But I like that color change, and it immediately turned into some good looking red clay. So I think we're gonna be fine. Yeah, that's really starting to get that. It's kind of an orangey reddish color, and that, man, that stuff packs really good. So I think we're gonna be awesome. I think we're gonna be perfectly fine on this. I was kind of sweating a little bit because of all of the topsoil. It's highly unusual for us in Missouri, unless you're in North Missouri, to have this kind of topsoil depth. If you're at a bottom, a creek bottom or river bottom, you'll run into it, but it's all washed in. But that dirt's really not good for a whole lot because it'll have a clay content to it, whereas this isn't a bottom area. So this dirt would be good to utilize. And again, I'm going to utilize a lot of that dirt. So I wasn't real concerned about keeping it really separated. And I don't know that the owners, he didn't want to get in the business of selling topsoil or anything, because this is about 3/4 of a mile from the road. you know, you don't want trucks tracking up and down through here, tearing his field up, and you know, he's got cows and he pays all this. So I get it. Not to mention, I'm not going to try to, you know, we'll see how much is left over. I'm not going to try to talk him out of a little bit here and there, but there's several Instagram posts about it being black gold, and in this part of the country, that's pretty correct. It really is. It's just it's a rarity. It's the Sasquatch, or the unicorn, if you will, in Missouri. Dave Harris with Sassafras Valley, he has a website, or a YouTube channel. Go check him out. Sassafras Valley. He lives not too far from me. He does a lot of woodworking and he builds a lot of stuff. I've not met him yet, but seems like a really nice guy. So like I said, don't forget to go check him out. That's Sassafras Valley. He's got a YouTube channel. But we were talking, he was leaving messages on my YouTube channel about this dirt and how rare it is in this part of the country, and how, you know, most of the time we'll have an abundance of fill dirt, but we won't have any good usable topsoil. And I'm just, in this particular job, I'm actually the opposite. I have an abundance of topsoil, and it looks like I'm going to have good clay, but, you know, again, we're deep. There's a lot of overburden, if you will, in the topsoil that we've got to remove. So, it seems like it's either feast or famine, like he had mentioned. You either have, like I said, an abundance of topsoil in this case, or an abundance of fill dirt. You can never find a place with both, it seems like. Down to good clay. I'm trying to pull any of that up right now, but more or less kind of exploring. Hopefully it doesn't get super hard. Yeah, good. We got about a foot of this, and then we get right down into some good clay, which is what I was hoping for. Yeah, because if we go much deeper, if we not get any good clay, then this little girl's going to be super deep, which isn't a problem per se, but the problem that you run into is the sides start getting really steep. And if it's just a straight fishing pond, that's one thing, but this is a cattle pond. Granted, the head section would be the slope, but you can have cattle get off in here. Have a difficulty, you know, they'll slide off down in here, and I mean, granted they can swim, get on out, but the problem is when they go up and down these steep slopes, cattle have so much pressure on their hooves, because their hooves are so small, that they'll actually start sloughing the bank off and shoving it down into the pond, and over time can really affect the depth of your pond, and can really affect the health of your pond, because you get all that dirt and mud and crap down in there. And so, you know, this part of the country, we want our ponds, banks to be sloped gradually, so there's less issues with the cows getting off down in there and slumping that all off. So yeah, we've got some rock here. Yeah, I think we'll bust on through it, but just kind of trying to get a little bit of a dam shape, kind of leave this, kind of get it laid in here where I can kind of start getting an idea. Get some of this crappy stuff moved on the back side back here. But again, my core is going to be, it's going to be a U-shaped. I'm gonna leave a little bit. I'm not gonna cut this core here yet, because all of this material here is gonna have to either, it's probably gonna come out here, because I still have to dig this out over here, and all that topsoil and stuff's gonna have to go over here. So I'm gonna leave this sloped up so I'll probably come in here and just kind of loosen all this up. But there's a ledge right here. You get right in here, it starts getting in some good clay. There's a bit of a hard pan right here, kind of just this corner, so I need to push it out with a dozer. So I'll leave this sloped up, and then we'll go from there. But I'm gonna move over here and finish digging this out, and then I'll move my core back a little bit. Looks like we're at least there in the middle. Looks like the topsoil is thinning down, which is good. But anyway, things are shaping up good. I have no worries whatsoever now with what I'm seeing. Right there, so yeah, that's gonna be great. Oh, beautiful play, beautiful play. More wood. Folks, if you're gonna bury brush piles, that's fine. Make sure bury them up next to the fence or someplace like that. Not out here in the open. Not the end of the world in our case here, but it sure taking a little extra time to I don't want any of them. Some of that's probably going to be at the bottom. You got water running in right there. That's because it's out here. It's just that's a low spot, so that's why it's running in there. Well, it could have been a lot worse. For sure. People that used to own this, they have a 312 excavator, cat excavator, just like the one I used to have. It's a little bit older, but letting some folks borrow it, and the guy that borrowed blew the engine up in it. So the old thing wasn't a great machine, so they ended up I think they sold it as is, I think. Goodness gracious. They sold it as is, and they went and bought a used 963. Both of those machines actually. 963 and the 312. They use them on the farm. these old burn piles of stuff are just kind of like a treasure chest. You just never know what you're going to find. But here's a it looks like a case front idler. That's what it kind of looks like. Here's a skid steer track that's slightly worn, but I think it's got a few miles left on it. But yeah, like I said, just slightly worn. You know, I'd be willing to sell some of that if anybody'd be interested. Just kidding. That's all the muck that came out of the hole. Kind of get an idea. This is the width of the hole and the length. So, got all that out of there. I mean, really good clay. Look at that. That is amazing. So that's what we want to see. The water's standing down there, so that is an extremely good sign. Just kind of the updating here. I just been kind of hunkered down and trying to get as much digging done as I can, because like I said, this impending rain that we've got coming. So as you can see, I've moved lots of dirt. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm just making my cuts square. I got a little carried away over on that corner. I thought I was going to be able to make a little sharper turn there to come down this way, but I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to have to end up by filling that corner back in a little bit, which is fine. But the material that I'm down to now, there's maybe 5-6 inches of rock and stuff here. Then it gets into the good clay. It's ironic how flat this is in here where the good clay is, and you would think over there would be the deepest point of the topsoil, but it's actually not. The topsoil is deepest on these sides. So most of the time, if you get any bit of a draw, your deepest topsoil is going to be in the middle. But it's ironic, the topsoil on that side is much better than this. What I run into here, the topsoil isn't any good really on this side. It may be a foot deep, about right there, and then it goes into a grayish colored clay. Not really a good clay, it's just a grayish colored clay. I mean, you can kind of see right here, it's just a kind of a grayish colored clay, and it's loose. It's clay-y, but it's not clay, which is what you see down there. I'm going to take and scrape that off and pack it in that corner over there to give me a little bit of a buffer, so I don't have to use as much material here. I think we're going to have plenty down in here, but I want to get all this scraped off here when I get this cut. Now I'm going to have to go over and bench cut that too, and I may in fact have to end up by taking that around a little bit more to round this up more. So, which I didn't want to do, but I may not have a choice. But I won't know until I get this, start building this, pushing this good clay out, and start building and rounding it up. I may in fact have to go up there a little bit higher, but if I do, I mean I do. But we have an abundance of dirt. A lot of this will be used, not a lot, some of it will be used in the building of this dam, you know, around here. so I'm going to try to utilize as much as I can, but he is most definitely going to have quite a little bit of dirt to contend with. I mean, if he's got any low spots or any draws that he wants filled in, I mean, this would be ideal for that. But this side over here, man, topsoil wise, that topsoil's got, it's what you see in the bottom, and I've spoken of this before in my videos. See how gray that, but it just falls apart. So it's, I mean, it's just, I mean, see, it doesn't even really pack in the bucket. So I can't use it for anything. It's got to come out. But see, right underneath of it, she starts turning red pretty quick. And man, I hate to pile this much, but I don't have a choice. I just don't have a choice. All right, guys. Well, I didn't film any with the dozer because I was in here trying to get this just kind of smoothed out, just to make sure I was getting down to clay pretty well throughout. There's a lot of rocks, but I mean, we know we've got clay. Reality struck though, that's for sure. This is rougher than a freaking cob. But I mean, you know, water's not going to go through that. It's kind of a, I mean, that's hard as, so it's kind of, it was kind of unique earlier when I was digging with the excavator. There's probably a hard pan. There's a rock, bunch of rocks right here, and then the clay dropped off, which I've kind of covered it. Could probably go just a little bit deeper actually, but you can kind of see it over here. So for whatever reason, clay drops down just this one little hole right here. So I'll have to watch that for sure. But again, I just kind of bench this out, and what I'll do is I'll start taking the clay and stuff from here and throwing up on the edge here like this. So that's what I'll start doing, and then, you know, like I said, this will give us a good tight seal. It'll give us a good tight seal against that topsoil. So anyway, getting there. I'm gonna work a little while longer. A lot of this I just took and shoved up in there, and I'm gonna come down there with the excavator, take and flip it out. And then in the morning, I'm not gonna be able to work a full day tomorrow, but in the morning, my goal is to get in here with the excavator, because it's just too hard for me to push with a D6. If I had rippers on it, rippers don't fit what I do normally. However, in this case, rippers would be outstanding on that dozer to come through here and just start in and just start ripping. You know, just keep ripping and keep ripping back and forth. That way I could push it with a dozer. But I'm gonna have to dig it with the excavator, or the majority of it. But I'll take in the center first of all, because this is going to be clay. The dam here is going to be the tallest that it is anywhere around the pond, and it's going to be the widest here. So I'm gonna, like I said, what I'll do is start digging in here, throwing up there. Then me being the Lone Ranger, I'll have to get on the dozer, start compacting. Then I'll hop off, and then I'll start throwing more up there. That's the plan. But I'm leaving this, I'm gonna try to take this center out tomorrow, and the reason being is because we got rain and snow coming Saturday. If this we should get enough rain, I'm hoping it'll run down in the middle and stay, and that way I can still keep working. I mean, worst case scenario, we got to pump it. Well guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. And as soon as I get this out, I've got to start walking towards the truck. Like I said, I've got still walk ahead of me, but I don't care to walk at all. Keeps me in shape. But anyway, lots follow the progress of this pond. And I think this is, I can't remember now, video maybe 3 or 4. But don't forget to kind of follow along on this progress of the on the process of this pond. So we're getting closer. Like I said, if I had rippers, man, I'd just go in and rip that up, and I'd start pushing that up real quick. But at least we're to some clay, so that's the main thing. So hopefully it gets better as the deeper we go, so I can get it in here and start getting it compacted in this cut. Again, that over there, I'm probably going to have to come over a little bit more for aesthetic purposes to make it more round. Right now it's kind of a teardrop shape, if you will. So we want it to look nice too and stuff. So but again, guys, I'm going to get out of here, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave comments, ring that notification bell, that way you know when I post a new video. Again, I'll have more videos on, or not videos, but pictures on Instagram, and you can follow me there, and that's at Dirt Daddy 950.